Hi, I'm Ohnsat, and I'm with the Prospector here on campus. Today is the beginning of one of our series, the interview with the student trustee, where we'll be updating you with things that are going on campus and on the board that you might be able to express concerns or make your voice heard on campus. My name again is Ohnsat, and this is Juan Cervantes. He's our student trustee. And without further ado, what exactly is a student trustee?
The student trustee is the student's representative on the Board of Trustees. I'm sure few people know what the Board of Trustees is. I know I didn't for a while. The Board of Trustees basically manages the macro operations on campus. Basically, they govern the policy as opposed to dealing with every little issue. They set the guidelines for how issues will be resolved. And I basically give the student's perspective on these policies and on how they will influence the student body.
Okay, cool. So what is your job as a student trustee?
I provide advice and recommendations when it comes to issues that the board deals with. I can also make motions, second motions. I have an advisory vote, which is kind of like a vote, but not really. I don't get counted towards the vote tally, but I get to advise them on how I feel the students would vote on the issue.
Okay, so possibly the board could ignore your vote is what you're saying, because it doesn't really count?
Well, the board takes into account what the student's opinion is. They really do care about the students, and they're really adamant about supporting us. In regards to ignoring it, it is an advisory vote. If I advise them to do something that might not be in the benefit of the district overall, even though it might be in the benefit of the students in the short term, they have the ability to take into consideration what the students would like now, but also look at the board's future.
Cool. So what is the extent of your power as student trustee?
That's pretty much it.
That's basically it. There's something else?
I'm able to motion, I'm able to second. I have the opportunity to speak at every board meeting. I'm one of the first people to speak. That's been something I've been wielding a lot more lately than I think has been wielded in the past. It's sort of hard to get in front of the board sometimes. My ability to do that and bring issues at the forefront of every meeting is a really powerful thing.
Cool. Well, we like to have more active, I guess you could say, you're a leader, right, for the students. So why did you run for the position of student trustee?
I was in Professor Rubiales' political science class, and one of his assignments was to go to board meetings. And I happened to go to a couple of these, and there was a lot I wanted to say, but I wasn't sure how the process was run or how I could speak up at these meetings. And I talked to Professor Rubiales about it, and he recommended that I run for the position, and here I am.
Here you are. So what are your current goals for the position?
My primary goal right now is an open education resource resolution, which is basically one of the big a board policy that I'd like to implement, where open education resources, which is a long way of saying cheap books, would be promoted on this campus and would be pushed for by the administration and by the board. The way it works is the resolution would push us towards joining a consortium, which is various community colleges connecting and working on different projects in regards to textbooks. So things like algebra, which haven't changed in 100 years, that get published every year for some reason with a new edition would stop. We would basically have our own book in the consortium that's open so that teachers can alter and edit it the way they want. They don't have to pay for the right to use it. And it basically translates to the student spending $25 to $30 on a book instead of $150 to $200 on a book.
So like for a statistics book, for example?
Yeah, we have one out there right now, or the consortium does. And the statistics book costs, I think, between $20 and $25 if you want it printed out. If you want the PDF copy, which is like the digital copy, you can get it for like under $15. Statistics book right now, I don't know if you've taken statistics recently, costs anywhere between $150 and $200. So it's a pretty big savings. With the economy the way it is, And with the fact that I know I spend more money on my books than I do on my classes, that's kind of a big issue.
Do you foresee that coming to fruition by the end of your term?
I hope so. I'm thinking about deferring my transfer and running again so that I can get it accomplished if I can't get it done by the end of my term.
Oh, okay. And how long is your term?
It's a year. I'm about halfway done with it. So at the end of the semester, elections, or towards the middle of the semester, actually, elections are run. And that's how you vote for your student trustee.
Cool. So, what steps have you taken thus far in implementing this resolution?
I've done the research. I've done a couple of conferences regarding open education resources. I've talked with consortiums. At this point, I'm getting together data of other colleges that have implemented a resolution like this, so that then I can draft it, and I'm at the drafting portion of it.
Okay, cool. So, what else, are there any other goals that you have set for this position aside from the open source books?
That's a pretty big one. That's one of those things that I think will influence students the most. Another one that I'd like to do is I'd like to have the position more clearly defined and maybe have that advisory vote mean a little more than it does already.
Okay. So, what is your connection to the students currently?
Well, I'm a student. I'm pretty active with the student clubs. I try to go to as many meetings as possible. I'm on campus all the time. I'm sure most of you have seen me walking around or somewhere on campus. I'm here 5 days a week. I'm usually here from 9 in the morning till 10 at night. So that's my connection.
Wow, what are you doing in that time?
That's
quite a long time.
Right now, I'm actually at rehearsals from 7:30 to 10 or 11 for Gorky Summerfolk, which the theater's producing.
Oh, okay.
Go out and see that.
I'm sure somebody from our art department will be covering that. So, what can students do to become more active on their campus? Would they be working? Would they go to you, or how can they achieve?
They can. I mean, I encourage students to contact me about anything they need. If it isn't within my job description, I'm here so much, and I deal with the students so much that I generally know the way the system works, and we can point them in the right direction. But I advise them to go to campus life and get involved with student clubs. It sounds almost, I wouldn't say petty, but it sounds like an extracurricular activity that's just for fun at times, but it really does get you involved in the community. And the more involved you are there, the more involved you are with ASYC, with MECHA, with your various clubs, the more likely you are to know what's going on in the broader scheme of things, and the more likely you are to understand the system and be able to influence it.
Okay. So, what exactly do students have in the form of influence here on campus?
They have a lot. Everybody here is working for them. I mean, sometimes it doesn't seem that way. Sometimes you might have a mean professor, but everybody that I've come in contact with at this college puts students first and foremost. If you go out and talk to the Board of Trustees, they'll listen. They really care about what you have to say, and it really affects their decision making.
And I hope you guys got to know our trustee a little more and do go out and get involved to help make our campus a better place for the students and our education and our future generations that will be here after we leave. And with that, thanks for watching from the Prospector and myself, and have a great evening or morning depending on where you're watching this from.